Social media companies have a social responsibility. That's why today we're pleased to announce that our government is tabling rules that specify which types of online services will be captured in our world-leading laws. Importantly, following advice from the eSafety Commissioner, young people under the age of 16 will not be able to have accounts on YouTube.
Well, besides that, there is an AI situation with YouTube that they're going to try to gauge our age by using artificial intelligence, which that's ridiculous in itself. You have other countries that are trying to block teens and kids from social media sites and streaming sites. Now, understand, this is a streaming site. We have various programming, movies, news, sports, weather, live feeds. And now you have the one country that looks to ban access to anyone under the age of 18 from YouTube itself.
And that's nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's called a VPN. Get one now if you haven't got one yet. But before we start, don't forget to drop a comment, a like, share, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. I'm telling you, this is the time to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a war. This is a culture crusade that is going on right now.
At last the country's going to war. This is the country's going to war. At last the country's going to war. We're going to war. This is a fact we can't ignore. We're going to war. This is a fact we can't ignore. We're going to war.
The battle lines have been drawn. And it's coming across that basically, you know, lawsuits are coming. The gamers have banded together. They've already on the forefront. They've already how can we put this? They've launched their first offensive already. If you haven't heard this yet about on Visa, MasterCard, you know, they took our game. They took our games. Well, now gamers are fighting back because it's not only the games that they said, well, it's sexually explicit games. They're also coming for the horror ones too. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Horror games are disappearing off Steam and on IO as well. Itch.io, however you want to pronounce it. So remember, support us here. You know, as I said, comment, like, share, subscribe, and not only myself, many others. Other people like Madam Savvy that's been covering this, has been great coverage of the situation with the Steam issues. We got more of that coming. You know, other channels like Sci-Fi Snob, Sci-Fi For Me. We're bringing good content, good news, good information out there, some fun, some excitement. But this is what they want to stop out there. There are those out there that just want to stop. Groups like NOSC and Collective Shout, they're out there trying to destroy the situation. So once again, thank you for those who have subscribed. We really do appreciate it. From Reuters, Australia widens teen social media ban to YouTube scraps exemption. Australia said on Wednesday it will add YouTube to sites covered by its world first ban on social media for teenagers, reversing an earlier decision to exempt the Alphabet-owned video sharing site and protected setting up a legal challenge. The decision came after the internet regulator urged the government last month to overturn the YouTube carve-out, citing that the survey found 37% of the minors reported harmful content on the site, the worst showing for a social media platform. I'm curious. I want to see that paperwork. I want to see that docket that says that. because I don't trust these politicians when they said, well, we got 37% of the people. Yeah, what did you ask them? That's the questions I want to see. But they're not going to show you that. Continue on. I call it time on it, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said in a statement, highlighting that Australian children were being negatively affected by online platforms and reminded social media of their social responsibility. I want Australian parents to know that we have their backs. No, you don't have their backs. You're using their children as a force to censorship. The decision broadens the ban to take effect in December. YouTube says by nearly 3/4 of Australians aged 13 to 15 and should not be classified as a social media because its main activity is hosting videos. Actually, it's more like streaming. Remember, who is the top streaming site right now? It is YouTube. The number one site above Netflix is YouTube. Our position remains clear. YouTube is a video sharing program with a library of free, high-quality content, increasingly viewed on TV screens. It is not social media, a spokesperson said by email. Since the government said last year it would make an exception, YouTube, due to its popularity with teachers, platform covered by the ban, such as Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, have complained. They say YouTube has key similarities to their products, including letting users interact and recommend content through an algorithm based on activity. Well, some sites, streaming sites, ask you to comment also on there to give, forced, did you like this content or did you hate this content? That sounds like social media. Why aren't you going after them? No, you're not going to. The ban outlaws YouTube accounts for those younger than 16, allowing parents and teachers to show videos on it to minors. Teachers are also curators of any resource for appropriateness and will be judicious, said Angela Falkberg, president of the Australian Primary Principals Association, which supports the ban. Artificial intelligence has supercharged the spread of misinformation. No, it hasn't. On social media platforms such as YouTube, said Adam Mayer, Chief Information Security Officer at cybersecurity's firm Arctic Wolf. Now, let me ask you something. What do you consider misinformation? Someone's side opinion on something? That's the problem these days. They'll use these words, misinformation, Nazi, white supremacy. They say we must get rid of this all. What are you talking about? Explain directly what you're talking about. If someone does not believe that climate change is a major issue, that's their opinion. That's correct. That's their opinion. If people believe that pornography does belong in our, on the internet, that's their opinion. People are allowed to have their opinions, not the opinions taken away and people jailed for it, which that is happening in the United Kingdom right now. People are going to jail for their posts on social media, and they're calling it misinformation. The Australian government move to regulate YouTube is an important step in pushing back against the unchecked power of big tech and protecting kids, he added in an email. The reversal sets up a fresh dispute with Alphabet, which threatens to withdraw some Google services from Australia in 2021 to avoid the law forcing it to pay news outlets for content appearing in searches. Yeah, remember that? Last week, YouTube told Reuters it had written to the government urging it to uphold the integrity of the legislative process. Australia media said YouTube threatened a court challenge. YouTube did not confirm that. I will not be intimidated by legal threats when this genuinely fight for well-being Australian kids, Communication Minister Annika Wells told Parliament on Wednesday. The law passed in November requires reasonable steps by social media platforms to keep out Australians younger than 16 or face a fine up to $49.5 million. The government, which is due to receive the report this month on test of age checking products, he said those results will influence the enforcement of the ban. But see, this is what it is. Now they're coming for the streaming sites. Yeah, that's right. They're coming for the entertainment. There are movies on YouTube. Some of them free, some of them paid on there. There's good entertainment. I hope. I do, and I've seen from my analytics, I do have a group of people, I believe it's between the age of 13, 14 to 17. I do have, it's a little bit, but yet there is some. And the thing about it is, when you look at a channel like mine and many others, we talk about things in general, which is for all of us. Some things, hey, I'll tell you this. Some things, you have out there that, on YouTube that is of adult nature. That's to that point. If it goes up to a certain point, there is age gating, which sometimes YouTube tends to be a little bit aggressive on it. I've had to deal with it a couple of times, and I've won so far on every one of those issues. Because I think it's just basically the AI just doesn't understand the difference between talking about a subject matter and showing it. In other words, showing a nude person or talking about why this person is being banned because they were being nude. All these issues that we do, the adults content that we talk about. But see, like I said, now they're taking children and pushing them away from streaming sites. In other words, we got Coco Melon on this. We have there's a children's section of YouTube, but they're not understanding that there is one. They're just saying we're just going to ban it all out. And why is that? Because most of these people don't understand how social media works, how streaming works, and how the internet works. It's insane, isn't it? But what's not insane is I want you to take a moment to grab your computer and type in, a comment. Let me know your thoughts about this. I really want to hear your thoughts. This is pure censorship to this point. It's going to maximize and they're going to increase. Remember, Collective Shout, the group who's been pushing for this, is in Australia. And one of their members is someone that works in the parliament dealing with age verification and censorship. So drop that comment, a like, share, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. Always remember this. If you have an idea how successful censorship is on the internet, do you know the answer to that? Successful, isn't it? Until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.